right from the very beginning, because I'm guessing we probably could use a little review on all of them. Number one, how many people missed number one? One or two, I didn't think the first person that didn't even answer that. Number one, always with these is I would definitely jot down myself a ratio box where you've got the drawing and you've got the real thing. And it doesn't really matter too much how you do this. I guess I would label the box really do this to scale. On the drawing, 1 inch, and I make sure you put the labels down there. So the real thing is 4 feet. That's my scale. In actuality, if a room is 18 feet long, okay, that's the real thing there. How long will this number be here? Now the thing with this one is it doesn't work out evenly, correct? Okay, so you really probably want to make the, here's your fraction, 1/4, 1 over 4 equals what number over 18? So it's just a matter of doing some cross multiplying. 4 times what number gives you 18? Divide by 4, divide by 4, you're going to get 4 and 2 fours, or 4 and 1/2, or 4.5. Either one would be your answer. And then problem number 2, ladies and gentlemen, how many people missed number 2? Again, note to self, write your answer in scientific notation, because if they give stuff in scientific notation, they want the answer to be in scientific notation. You are supposed to give the what area? Right? So it ends up being 4 times 10 to the, what is that number, 6? 4 times 10 to the 6 times 3 times 10 to the 6. And whoever gave me that answer there did this. Yeah, 4 times 3 is definitely 12. When you multiply this times this, you add exponents together. So that's where 10 to the 12th comes from. But we need to change that back into scientific notation. And the rule for scientific notation is, I move the decimal from here to here, making it 1.2. If I make this 1 smaller, I have to make that exponent 1 bigger. There is note to self. Exponent 1 smaller, number 1 bigger. So a lot of people go, oh yeah, now I got it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The price of an item was $48 plus 7.5% tax. What was the total price including tax? Probably the easiest way to do this would be what? I would find how much tax and add it together. And I will say this numerous times. You could do a ratio, you could do the whole percentage box, but that's gonna, I think that just would take you longer than it really needs to. How do you find tax? I've said this 1,000 times. Tax and tip is always multiplication. You are just going to take $48, you don't really need the decimal at this point, and multiply it by 7.5%. We don't multiply it by percentages, we have to change it to decimals or fractions. In this case, I'd make it a decimal, Elijah, which is what? No, that's what percent it is. Percents and decimals are not the same. 7.5% is what? Decimal. 7.5% is what decimal, Jenna?
0.07.
Yeah, you just move the decimal back 2 places. This is 0.075. By the way, going into this, you should have some idea how much tax you're going to pay. I mean, what's a realistic amount of tax on $48? I mean, if you end up with $4,800 in tax, does that make sense? No. 7% just means 7 out of $100 is gonna be in tax. So if you're paying almost half of $100, your tax should be half of about $7, which is, somewhere in the $3 to $4 range. Let's see what we get. 5 times 8 is 40. 20 plus 4 is 24. Put a 0 down there. 7 times 8 is 56. Carry the 5. 28 plus 5 is what? 33. 0, 0, 6, 3. 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3 is $3.60 in tax. A realistic tax on $48, it sure is. But it wants the total price, so you have to take the original $48 plus the $3.60 to get your $51.60. Note to self, make sure you add it. Tax and tip. Anytime you're finding a percent of a number, 7.5% of that is multiplication. Multiplication. We are speeding handily along. It's much quicker if we just go one by one. Plus, when you watch the video, it'll be easier to find. If a coin is flipped 4 times, the probability of getting ahead all 4 times, you don't have to draw the little tree. Just know that you're looking to get ahead, then ahead, then ahead, then ahead. Those 4 different things have to happen in order. And to find out those things happening in order, it's all of these probabilities times themselves. Probability of getting ahead, times the probability of getting ahead, times the probability of getting ahead, times the probability of getting ahead. Well, when you flip a coin just once, what's your probability of getting ahead? How many sides to a coin? 2. How many of those sides are heads? 1/2. It's half every time you flip a coin, but you're doing it 4 times in a row. And please know it's not 8. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is not 8. 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. Times 2 is 16 on the bottom. And 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1 at a time. 1 out of every 16 tries, you should be able to flip and get a coin. Come up heads 4 times in a row. It'd be the probability of having a head come up 5 times in a row. 1 in what? 32. 6 times in a row? 64. 7 times? 128. 8 times? 56. Number 5, what is the lateral surface area of that? LSA is the surface area of the shape minus what? What doesn't get counted in on lateral surface area, Isabel?
The bases.
Yeah, you're not finding the area of the bases. And that's confusing because you look at this shape and you might think that the base of it is a rectangle. It's not sitting on its base. The loaf of bread theory tells you that what shape, when you cut this all the time, are you going to get for its base? Yes, the triangle is the base. You're finding the area of the shape except for the 2 triangles that make up the top and the bottom there. And there's a bunch of ways you can do this. Let's just pick it apart piece by piece. You've got this rectangle right here. I'll redraw it right here. It is a 6 by 8 rectangle. Actually, I probably should have done it the other way. It is a 6 by 8. So its area is 48. You've got the rectangle that makes up the bottom, which is what? What are its dimensions? 3 by 8. Here's my bottom one. 3 by 8. That is 24. And then I've got the one over here that you really can't see at all, but it looks like this. It's right here on the back side. What are its dimensions? 6 by, what's that? 6 by 3. 8 is the bottom now. Oh wait, no. Yes. No. Wait, now I lost that rectangle. Where is it? It's 8. This distance from here to here is the same as this distance from here to here. Somebody said 3. This is 8 from here to here. And it is 6 from there to there. These are both the same rectangles, are they not? This rectangle back here, Wait, did I do that one wrong? I did I? The blue rectangles should have been what? What was this distance from here to here? Should be the same as this. Sorry, this one should have been 3. Sorry to mess you up there. It's hard naming these boards. The yellow one, it's the one that is the one that had the dimensions right here. That was 8 from here to here and 6 from there to there. 6 by 8. So there's the 48. Maybe I should have redrew that whole thing. So adding those together, you get 48 plus 18 plus, what was my other one? 24. 16 and 4 is 20. Carry the 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did I get it right? Huh? See, I did get it right? I did get it right. Can I erase that whole thing and do it again? Let me look at it. I can try. What was the answer? Sorry. Here we go. Let's get it. Alright, I'm going to do this again. Let's do this slowly and surely. We've got this one right here, which is 8 by 6. Maybe that's where I went wrong. Oh, yeah, because both of these are 8 by 6s. I had too many lines in there, right? Too many lines in there. This is also 8 by 6. You've got 2 8 by 6 rectangles. That's where we went wrong. And then you've just got the bottom, which is a 3 by 8. Sorry about that. 24, 48, and 48. Now I bet we'll come up with the right answer. 48 and 48 is 96. 96 and 24 is 120. By the way, there is a quick way to do that. Does anybody know what it was? There's a shortcut formula which probably would have saved me a lot of embarrassment and grief had I done it the right way. Elijah? Yeah. You could have taken the perimeter of the base and multiplied it by the height. Remember we said the base was the triangle. What is the perimeter of the triangle? 3 plus 6 plus 6. You do that in your head. 6 plus 6 is 12. You get 15. And then remember, when you set it on its base, I have to flip it here. The height would be 8. And guess what 15 times 8 is? 120 centimeters squared. Well, if that wasn't just confusing. What's that? On which part, sir? Just give me on this part here, because you don't have to do it like this. You can just pull it apart like this. Huh? This one? Which part?
I did the 6, 8, 16.
Right here. Are you with me on this? See this rectangle right here? Let's do that one first. What are its dimensions? 8 by 6, correct? Cameron, you looking? 8 by 6. I'm going to get rid of that one because we already did that one. Now I'm going to do this one back here. What are the dimensions of this one right here with the dashed lines that you can't see? How far is it from here to here? 6. How far is it from here to here? 8. There are 2 of them that are 6 by 8. That's the second one. And then the third one is the bottom one, which you can't see hardly at all either. That bottom one is right here. It is 3 by 8. And it's a squished one because you can't see it. 3 by 8. So 2 6 by 8s and a 3 by 8. Voila. Any more on this bottom one? No. Let's forge ahead. A bag containing 4 red marbles, 3 blue marbles, 2 yellow marbles, and 1 green marbles. I am not even going to read the rest of the problem because I am going to draw that bag. What is it? 4 reds, 3 blues, 2 yellows, and 1 green marble. There's my bag. Two are drawn one at a time, and this is important to look. I am not putting that marble back in the bag. What is the probability of drawing two blue marbles? Probability of a blue and a blue. And just like before, that probability is the probability of those two multiplied together. But you have to be careful because they're not the same because you don't put that blue marble in. Well, the first time, how many total marbles do we have? 4, 7, 10. Nice of them. How many are blue? 3. Now, here's what happened though. You picked a blue marble, it's gone. It's not in the bag anymore. You don't replace it. So that changes your probability for the second part. Now, how many marbles are in the bag? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 marbles. How many are blue? Just 2 of them. Now you multiply those together, you end up with 6 over 90. Remember, you can't leave it as that. You could have cross-canceled here, but I don't want to throw too much of a wrench in there. Believe it or not, if you divide them both by 6, you get 15 on the bottom, I believe. 1/15 is what it is. Could have crossed the 3 with the 9. Could have crossed the 2 with the 10. That's 1/15. How many people got it wrong because they multiplied 3/10 times 3/10? Nobody? Oh, look at you kids. No replacing the marble. The height of the pyramid with a square base is 4 feet. What's the volume? Mrs. Stone, how are you?
Hey, just fine. I have a 5th grader leaving. Do you have, is it just for you to address?
Who's leaving?
Grace?
So you have to pretend, in order to find this, you have to pretend that this is a 3-dimensional prism. Whatever that volume is, you divide it by 3, because I already showed you the whole water thing with the thing here. A pyramid takes up 1/3 of what it would take up if it were a regular rectangular prism. So it's just the area of the base, A of B, times the height, and that whole thing is going to get divided by 3. So you can write that out. What is shape is the base? It's this square base. How do you find that? It is 6 times 6. What's the height? It already told us that. It is 4. So there's all your math work. 6 times 6. By the way, you could save yourself some trouble in doing this. 6 times 6 times 4, all over 3. You could, before you even multiply, cross-cancel the 3 with one of the 6s. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8, times 6 is 48 feet cubed. You'll still get 48 if you multiply this times this times this and divide by 3, but it's a lot easier numbers to work with if you just cross cancel. Oh, this is so exciting. How much time we got? Which of the following equations is a rule for this sequence? This is nothing but trial and error, people.
Hey, Mr. Klein, Grace has a fever.
Yep, Mrs. Stone just came in and told me.
Okay.
We're just reviewing for the test today. She can take,
She said she needs to grab some. Do you have something for her to grab? The test note?
the test notes in the little package. She can just have, she's gonna be right here. This is, I'll give you this today, so then the rest of it. Here's the deal with this, people. You know what I need myself? You just need to plug numbers in and see if they work. Easiest way to do it. This is the first term, so you put 1 in for n. Does it work? Is 1 plus 5, 6? Yes. Okay, you gotta keep trying for this one. If you put 2 in for n, is 2 plus 5, 11? No, so that doesn't work. So try this one. Put a 1 in for this. Does 5 times 1 plus 1 give you 6? Yes, try it for the second one. 5 times 2 plus 1, 11. 5 times 3 plus 1, 16. 5 times, you can stop right there because this one works. It's trial and error. Just remember this, the letter N is what number? N is what number of the term? This is the first term, second term, third term, fourth term. Okay, why doesn't this one work? Well, if you put 2 in for that, oh look at 2 times 6 does give you 11. 3 for 6 though, 3 times 6 is 18. 18 minus 1 is 17. So you have to try, you gotta make sure it works for all 4 terms before you take your guess. Somebody said D, did they not? 5 plus 1 times 1 is indeed 6. 5 plus 1, 6 times 2 is not 11, it's 12. So that one doesn't work there. You know, somebody said D. Cameron?
Number 7, what was the answer?
I don't know. I gotta catch me when we're done here. I've got 20 minutes to get through the rest of the test. You can catch that one in there. Which of the following represents the union of prime numbers and the set of composite numbers? Which of the following represent the union of the set of prime numbers, prime numbers union with composite numbers? Union means you're putting them both together. Union means you're putting them both together. What number is neither prime nor composite? Right away you should know that. 1 is neither prime nor composite. Right away you can knock those out. 1 is not a prime number. A prime number has to have 2 factors, 1 only has 1. A composite number has to be made up of 2 different factors, and neither one. So right away, ladies and gentlemen, this is your only option is right there, letter D. Because number 1 doesn't fit any of those things. What do we got here? Number, which x and y pairs of numbers is a solution? And again, you would have drawn this on, you would have did this on graph paper, so there's no doubt about this. X plus y equals 6. That is in standard form. What are the x and y intercepts? Cover up the x. So cover up the y. X is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cover up the x. Y is also 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Line number 1. Same thing for the second one. Cover up the x. Y is 2. Cover up the y, and here's where you have to be careful. It's a negative x equals 2. So x equals, you gotta flip that negative and put it over there. X equals negative 2. There's the note to self. If you have a negative variable when you do this, you have to flip it and put it over there. And then boom, when you do this, they're looking for this answer here, where they cross. And to me, not doing it on graph paper, I could be wrong. You get crosses at point 2, 4. Is that what the answer was? 2, 4 is the place where those cross. But you would have done it with a ruler and straight edges, so it should have all worked out nicely for you, which it did. Problem 11. Do you have the trapezoid formula written down? A trapezoid is 1/2 of base 1 plus base 2 times height. What are the bases? How do you know if it's a base? Pete Kunacek, how do I know if it's a base? Bases are what? These two have to be the parallel lines, not necessarily top and bottom. Because you could draw this the other way around. You could have it look like this. And it wouldn't be the top and bottom, it would be the sides, or the 2 parallel lines. So 1/2 of 14 plus 22 times the height, which is 8. 14 plus 22 is 36. And you can either take half of 36 or half of 8, it doesn't matter, or multiply those together. Half of 8 is 4, 36 times 4 is 44 inches squared. Did I get that one right? I'm on a roll now, that's for sure. Uh-oh. For questions 12 and 13, use this information. The vertices of parallelogram A, B, C, and D are that. What is the area of the parallelogram? What do we got here? Let's see if we can't do this. 0, 0. Origin, 0, 0. Love it. 4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. 5, 3. 5, 1, 2, 3. By the way, what shape is this? It's a parallelogram. It's not a rectangle. It's a parallelogram. I got this side, and I have this side of that parallelogram. And the last side is 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. Here's my parallelogram. It's a beautiful parallelogram. What is the area? Formula for area of parallelograms is simply base times height. They have to be right angles to itself. You don't just guess on this, people. You're doing it on a grid because grid gives you straight lines. You have to go, how wide is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. But what is its height? Well, you have to draw a perpendicular line to that bottom. How tall is that line? 1, 2, 3. So area equals 3 times 4, which is 12 units squared. You have to draw the straight up and down line. 13 says it's dilated by a scale factor of 2 from the origin. I'll let you do that before we go any farther. That means, ladies and gentlemen, every number gets multiplied by 2. If I multiply these both by 2, I end up with 0, 0. I multiply these by 2, I end up with 8, 0. Which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 0. I multiply this by 2, I get 10, 6, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I multiply these by 2, I get 2, 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My bigger parallelogram looks like this. Again, you've got graph paper, so yours will look a little sweeter than mine. That's your new one. What are the coordinates? Oh, of the new image? I guess I didn't need to do that. You have to draw it out. I already gave it to you. 0, 0, 8, 0, 10, 6. 2, 6, right? Is that what it asked for? Yes, Mr. Ron, that was it. I don't know how you get this one wrong. And tomorrow on the test, please bring your little reference sheet. It says right there, does it not? Especially you get 55 and 5/9%. Now on your reference sheet, it doesn't round it to 3 decimal places. You have to do a little bit of work, but it does tell you that it's a 0.5 repeater, which means it goes on forever. You are rounding to 3 decimal places. That means this number right here is the one. The 3rd decimal place is either going to stay the same or get rounded up. This tells you it's a 5, so you round up. So you end up with 0.5, 5, 6. I hope, right? Did I get that one right? Breakneck speed, children. Breakneck speed. I want everybody to have a chance of getting more. Number 15, expanding just means using what property? Somebody? Distributor. So I multiply the 5x times that. I multiply the 5x times that. What is 5x times 2x, Jaden? Shoot.
Times 2.
Correct. 5 times 2 is 10, and x times x is x squared, minus 3 times 5x is 15x. They are not like, you can't put them together, one's an x squared, one's an x. Here we go. The area of the square is 25 square units. How many units is the diagonal of the square? Well, you know that squares have sides that are the same, so if the area is 25, how long does each side have to be? What same number times itself gives you 25? Delaney?
5.
So you know every side has to be 5. But that's not the question. It says, how long is this diagonal? Which means you have to use what? Somebody? What type of triangle is this? A right triangle. What theorem do we use with right triangles? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. What number of those don't I know? A, B, or C? True. I'm looking at this triangle right here. And I'm using the Pythagorean theorem. I don't know which one. I don't know what C is. So I know that a squared, 5 squared, plus 5 squared is c squared. 5 and 5. 25 plus 25 is c squared. 25 and 25 is 50. And then the question of the hour, if 50 equals c squared, c equals square root of 50, which would be a nice answer, except you have to simplify the square root of 50. What does the square root of 50 equal? Now, if you break it down, it's square root of 5 times the square root of 10. The square root of 10 is the square root of 2 times the square root of 5. Two identical square roots give me a normal number. Square root of 2 doesn't cross off with anything, so your side has to be 5 times the square root of 2. 6 minutes and counting. Oh yeah. Solving this one. Note to self. What do I have to get rid of first? Lane Kumar? What's that? The one without the x, thank you. Okay, usually we put the x term first, so they try to throw it in there to confuse you a little bit because you gotta learn. You want to get rid of this. This one stays, it has the x. So I subtract 0.05. I subtract 0.05, which gives me 0.06. And that equals 0.2x. Now, as I do with most equations, what's the last thing I do? Fisher. Right. Dividing by 0.2. Some of you still struggle dividing with decimals. You might want to write this out. 0.2 into 0.06. You have to move the decimal here, decimal there. How many times does 2 go into 0.6? 0.3 times. 3 tenths of a time. What do we got? 19, 18, 19, 20? Where's the 3? Are you kidding me? This one here, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. Probably the easiest one is just to use cross products. Multiply this times this, 1.5 times n, and that has to equal 0.3 times 25, which is 0.75. Is it? Oh yeah, 7.5. 1.5 n equals that. Guess what? In the equation, what's the last thing I'm going to do again? Divide by 1.5. Divide by 1.5. 1.5 into 7.5. Decimal, decimal. 15 goes into 75. 5 times. Ladies and gentlemen. 2 left. Let me make sure I have this right. X minus 2, y 3, x 3, y 0. Anybody, first thing you do there is? Elijah? Yeah, we don't deal with negative exponents, so it has to go from the top down to the bottom to become an x to the positive 2 power. Now they're all positive, I just need to simplify. Y to the third and y to the 0. What is that? Anybody? Delaney?
just y.
Well, you add exponents together. What's 3 plus 0? 3. You're left with the y to the third on top. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So if you have this, if you change this to a 1 and you multiply by that, you still get that same thing. So 0 powers don't really matter. And then on top you have 3 x's, and on the bottom you have 2 x's. What's going to happen? They cross off 1 for 1. 1x with 1x, a second x with a second x. You're left with that x on top. That's as much simplifying as we can do. And then last but not least, number 20. Remember, when you multiply these together, you multiply the numbers that aren't radicals together. 3 times 2 is 6. And you multiply the radicals together. The square root of 5 times the square root of 10 is the square root of 50. Again, that's all well and good, except it needs to be simplified. The square root of 50 can be broken down into the square root of 25 times the square root of 2. The square root of 25 is the square root of 5 times the square root of 5. 2 identical square roots of 5 give you a normal 5. Square root of 2 doesn't cross off with anybody. You have to multiply these normal numbers together. You have the square root. You had 6 up there and a 5 down there, so you got 30. Count them 30 square roots of 2. And you take a deep breath. Cameron, did you get your question answered?